Okay. Okay. Good morning, everybody. This is Mr. Powie coming at you from my house right now. It is Tuesday morning, and I was thinking that I could make some of these videos for you to kind of talk you through what's going on with some of your online assignments. I know that we're all kind of stuck at home right now and trying to do our best to do work wherever we can. And so I thought I'd be doing this since I can't see all of your lovely faces in person. So I hope you guys are all being safe. I hope you guys are all washing your hands and practicing those social distancing measures to help kind of keep everyone, us and our friends and our loved ones, as safe as possible, helping everyone out. And until I see you again, we're going to be doing stuff like this online. So I hope you're checking your Google Classrooms, not just for my class, but for everyone's class as well. But in the meantime, I'm going to start making these videos. This is the first one that I think I'm putting up, but my plan is to put up a couple more. Today, this video is going to go over the DeltaMath assignments for Monday and Tuesday. I'm going to put up a different one for Wednesday and Thursday. I'm thinking I might also do something for the quiz number 3. Let me know if there are videos that you want to see from me regarding math problems. Either write me an email or write me in the Google comments what kind of videos you'd like to see. I think I've also got this like black bar in my display right now, and I'm still getting used to the software that I'm using, but I think I can put some stuff in that black bar. So any advice about kind of tips or information that you guys would want to see in that black space, let me know, and I'll see if I can work something out. Okay, but let's get into the math. So Mondays, which I know some of you already did, and good job if you guys are already on this Monday stuff. Okay, so here's a problem. Actually, I am going to do something right off the bat. I am going to give up on this problem because there's a specific scenario that I want us to look at. Yes, it's this scenario right here. And I'll tell you what I mean in a second. So I'm going to copy down this problem into my notebook. And if you guys can, I would say pause this video right now and go grab a piece of paper so you can write this down along with me. I really think it's helpful if you can write the problems that we are doing down. If you can do all this arithmetic or all this math in your head, great, but you shouldn't feel like you have to. All right, so the equation is y equals x squared minus 3. And the directions say determine the value of y if x is negative 10. Okay. So this is the problem type that we've done a lot in my class. If you've been doing your warm-ups, if you've been doing your do-nows, this is something we've seen a lot. So this phrase right here, if x is 10, is telling us to do something that we do all the time, right? There's a bunch of different words we use for this, but this is telling us to essentially replace x with negative 10. And we have other words for this as well, right? We don't have to use the word replace. Other words that people use a lot are plug in, negative 10 for x. And these are all examples of substitution. When I did the practice video on this, I spelled substitution wrong, so I'm like really nervous that I messed it up again. Substitution. I think I'm okay. Okay. So this is saying, right, instead of the x we see here, we're going to replace it with the negative 10 we see here. So let's do that. Y equals negative 10 squared minus 3. And I want to do this example because I want to be really clear about what to do with this negative 10. In fact, before we go any further, I'm actually going to take this negative 10 and I'm going to put it in parentheses. I'll do it for the x up here as well. So do you see how like the x got replaced with the negative 10 here? And I'm putting the negative 10 in parentheses. So we haven't really talked about squaring in detail for a little bit. Let's talk about that. So if I square something, that means I am multiplying it by itself. So this is negative 10, which means I'm multiplying negative 10 by itself. So there's a negative 10 here, There's a negative 10 here. And negative 10 times negative 10 is positive 100. So let me show you the reason why I wanted to give you this example. So I'm going to go to the DeltaMath calculator, and I'm going to show you, first of all, what we did, which is to say parentheses 10, close parentheses, and then this button gives us that square. So 10 squared. Oops, sorry, that's not what we did. Negative 10, right? So parentheses negative 10, and then square, and then we press, oh, it already tells us the answer over here. So positive 100, right? Great, cool, good. Now, here's what not to do. So the reason this is tricky is because if we don't use parentheses, the calculator reads what we want it to do in the wrong way. So if I type negative 10 squared, do you see the difference? Do you see how it says here negative 100? What the calculator is thinking we mean is it thinks we mean to do 10 squared and then put a negative on the outside. This is a result of the way calculators think about PEMDAS. They do the squaring before the minus sign unless the minus sign is on the inside. So I'm just typing all of this on my keyboard now, just to go do it quickly. So what we want to do is parentheses negative 10 squared. If we don't do that, we end up with a negative number when we're supposed to get a positive number. So this negative 10 squared, see, is the wrong answer, negative 100. But if I do parentheses negative 10, close parentheses, and then quick tip, if I do shift and 6 on my calculator or on my keyboard, shift 6, see how it jumped up there, and then I can type in 2. So this is the one we want, positive 100 with the parentheses in here. All right, really quickly, remember, because this happens, a negative times a negative should be a positive. So this should always be a positive number. Okay, positive 100. So let's keep going. So y equals negative 10 squared becomes positive 100. 100 minus 3. And then so here's our 100 minus 3 is good, 97 right over there. Could we do this in our heads? Yeah, probably, but we've already got the technology out, so let's take advantage of it. So y equals 97. Here, do you see what I'm doing here? This is just good style, right? I'm copying, but I'm changing the negative 10. And then y equals this new thing, and then y equals this new thing, and then y equals my final answer. Just organizing my work. Okay. 97. Submit. Yes. Check mark. Hey, green check. Feels good. Okay, cool. So I'm going to go back, and I'm going to go to the Tuesday one. So this is a Tuesday. Tuesday. And the Tuesday one is all about functions. So let me copy down the problem again. H f x equals negative x. Oh, this is a good one too. Minus 4. And the directions are find h of negative 6. So really quickly, if you were listening to how I said this, just a reminder on how we speak negative or speak functions. So this says h of x equals negative x minus 4. Find h of negative 6, right? So this setup, this notation might look really different to what we have up here, but actually this is telling us to do basically the same thing that we did for the Monday problems. So this negative 6 right here is actually telling us to do the same thing that we did up here. This is telling us to plug in negative 6 for x, right? Plug in or replace or substitution. Because you see where it's the same, like negative 6 is in the same spot the x is. So this is telling us replace or plug in that negative 6 anywhere we see an x. So we also see an x like right here. All right. So here's what I'm going to tell you to do. So I'm going to copy this down. You should copy this down too. Negative 6 equals. So what I want you guys to do is take a minute and figure out if you know what should be written here. If you have to pause the video, pause the video. I'm going to take a quick sip of coffee. Okay, and if you need to plug or pause the video longer to do it, then go ahead, but otherwise you should be back and should have this filled in. And so now you can check, did you do what I did? So I'm gonna do negative, and for now, I'm just gonna put parentheses here. Maybe you did this, maybe you didn't, and then -4, because I'm gonna try and make it really obvious where I'm putting that x. So this x is going to become a -6. Okay, and this is another great example because dealing with these double minus signs is something that we've done before, but it's always feels very strange. So remember, this minus sign gets copied and x turns into a -6. So we actually have two minus signs, one from the negative in front and one from the minus sign from the 6 itself. And then I copied the -4. Okay, so what happens if I have a minus a negative or negative negative? These two come together to become a positive. So I'm going to write a +6 here, -4. Notice I don't write a plus sign because that's kind of not necessary. So 6 minus 4, h of -6 equals 6 minus 4. 6, oops, let's clear this. 6 minus 4. What? Hello? Close. Show it again. Get rid of it. 6 minus 4, 2. Okay, did I need a calculator for that? No. Did you need a calculator for that? Probably not. But my point is, we've got the technology. There's no reason not to use it, no matter how simple the problem might seem. Checking it costs us very little. Okay, so the answer should be 2. I'm going to type a 2 in here and submit answer. I am ready to submit. A green check, feels good. Okay, so those are the examples for the Monday substitution with a reminder about negative numbers. When we square them, negative times a negative becomes positive. And those are the kind of reminders about how we deal with functions and how this notation is telling us to plug in a number for the x's that we see here and here. Like I said, I'm going to be doing more of these videos, and let me know either in the Google comments or by an email if there are particular videos or problems you'd like to see. I've got some ideas about what I want to do later today, Tuesday, but I'll leave it. I'm not sure how that's going to work out yet, so I will keep you posted on Google Classroom. All right, y'all, take care, and I will see you as soon as possible.